So student accommodation remains one of the most pressing issues facing South African universities. Each year, thousands face the harsh reality of limited or no access to accommodation on campus, forcing many to seek shelter in halls or libraries, or worse, experience homelessness. The South African Union of Students says the growing demand needs to be addressed through coordinated government action.
South African Union of Students says student accommodation has reached crisis levels at most of the country's public universities. The student union adds that the demand for student accommodation worsens every year, with institutions unable to meet the rising demand, leading to backlogs.
It is a crisis. It is a crisis, number one, because obviously it affects thousands and thousands of students. It's very severe and quite widespread across the country for a number of reasons. The first one obviously being that when students come into that institution, they are not yet registered. Some of them are not even admitted as yet for them to even be able to register. They're still on the waiting list and stuff. And so what obviously then begins to happen is that they don't have accommodation.
For the 2025 academic year, CPUT has received between 70,000 and 100,000 applications for student residence. In response, the university has added 400 additional beds to a women-only residence designed specifically to accommodate first-year students, bringing the total number of beds at CPUT to 16,200 for this year.
We have half of our student cohort in residence. CPUT has exponentially increased its residence portfolio over the years. So we're talking about 2 years ago, we had about 13,500 beds on offer. Last year that shot up to 15,000, and this year we'll offer 16,200 beds. So we understand the need and we're always trying to meet it. We take every application on its merit, and we always encourage people to apply on time so that we can, have the leeway to place you appropriately, put you in the residence that's as close to the course that you are going to be studying.
The University of the Western Cape is also planning to expand with the goal of accommodating as many students as possible.
We're always looking for opportunities to extend that space for the need for accommodation, and we look at various models. We look at university-owned, which is the majority of the offerings, which is at just over 6,000 bed spaces. The rest is sourced from vetted private accommodation service providers. And so that is how we try and address the issue. But like I say, we're in constant conversation with the City of Cape Town, with the Department of Human Settlements in the province, to look at new possibilities for the university. Every university is doing so because we realize that the demand for student housing is huge.
SAUS says the time has come for the government to act and provide a more coordinated, well-funded approach to prevent more students from resorting to sleeping in university halls or libraries as the academic year gets underway.
From the time that universities open to the time that registration ends, so that while those processes are ongoing, because we're not dealing here with just robots or papers, we're dealing with humans that are on the doorstep of the institution. So we must have some sort of a temporary and an emergency accommodation model across all institutions. We generally need a more efficient and a more coordinated sector as it pertains to the entire value chain, from registration to funding to academics to accommodation, between the Department of Higher Education, Basic Education, NSFAS, everyone. We need a coherent system.
For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Nasiphi Same in Cape Town.